Hello guys. Yeah, welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. So we are still covering those series of what we learned in the Champions League. And the last video that I'm gonna do is talk about what we learned between Tottenham Hotspurs and Sporting at the Tottenham Hotspurs ground, where there were a lot of things that happened and that left a lot of people shocked, especially at the last minute of the game. Conte getting a red card, the whole world turning against the referees and the VAR, saying that how do you allow some of the things to get away, and how do you allow some of these things to be even allowed to happen in a football match. So I'm here to I'm gonna make some things clear over the decisions of the referees, and I'm gonna try by almost to tell you if it was an onside or an offside. I've already covered a little bit about it when you're checking the Arsenal game, but now I'm gonna go in depth to try to explain what really happened in that game. So yesterday we watched the Sporting playing against Tottenham Hotspurs. It was in the Group D, and it was supposed to define or to give us an idea of where exactly these two teams were going. Remember, they're still in this tough group where anyone from number 1 to 4 can still qualify for to the next round of the Champions League. That's what makes this game so interesting. So there is a lot of things that people can do. There is a lot of things that can change. So Tottenham Hotspurs, of course, they're still on top. If I'm looking at the group right now, they're still on top, followed by Sporting with 7 points, Frankfurt with 7 points, Marseille with 6 points. If Marseille beat Tottenham at their home ground this next week, Marseille will qualify for the next Champions League. If either Frankfurt or Sporting win, one of those will qualify to the Champions League next season. So this is where the problem is. Antonio Conte, Tottenham Hotspurs, they were beaten by Sporting for in the first ground in the first time when they were playing in Portugal. They came to Tottenham Hotspurs in England to prove themselves that what happened in Sporting was just because of the away fans. Let's do it in front of the home fans and let's win this for them. And they surely almost did. Harry Kane scored the last minute winner, and that was it. But we need to talk about the game because big people are looking at the last 1 2 5 minutes of the last game. We are not covering the whole entire game because Tottenham Hotspurs, what they did was criminal. The way they played, it was criminal to watch. They should not have actually allowed this game to go that far. They should have gotten rid of this whole game in the entire game a long time ago, but they didn't, and now this has cost them to almost lose in the last minute, and now they're trying to look for somebody to blame. Well, I'm not gonna stand for that. I'm gonna speak nothing but the truth and the truth only. Tottenham Hotspurs were playing against Sporting. They had I don't know how many shots. They were not playing so good. Sporting, in fact, actually had the better chances in the game. Tottenham Hotspurs were controlling the game, but they never had the better chances. Sporting, on the other hand, they did. And surely one person or anyone who look at this can say that they deserve to be where they are. They deserve to at least draw with this Tottenham Hotspurs because they were not that good. They were not that good, and the sooner we accept that, the better. Because people are trying to look for any way to scapegoat and talk about how the referees and the VAR are destroying football. No, that for me was a clear offside. Whether you like it or not, whether the ball is, you look at where Kane's body is, you look at where the ball was. If Kane was behind the ball, then I would have had a problem. But where the ball was and where Kane's body was, that was an offside. And the right decision was done at the end of the day. It was done to stop a team that was about to be taken out of the competition because of because of the goal which was not supposed to stand. So whether you like it as Tottenham Hotspur or what, or Antonio Conte, that is crazy because that deserved to be there like that. And secondly, Antonio Conte's last post after the game comments saying that I'm not a big guy. You were playing against Sporting. Sporting is not even recognized. So what do you want them to do? And one thing that you say that the other teams are treated better than you are because your team is small. That is just so low. That's a newfound law that Conte has gone as a manager, and he goes to call his own manage board. You said that they need to do something against UEFA over the decisions making that were done in the game. You didn't play well. Sporting had many chances to bury this game. If these guys had not actually done that, it would have been a different game. If it wasn't for a mistake that the goalkeeper made, it would have ended 1-0 to Sporting. So I get really confused when you hear a manager trying to look for sympathy in the media saying some crazy things, and that's what Antonio Conte did. This game was a good game. Sporting came up with a plan, overplayed you, scored first. They almost got the game to the over if it wasn't for the last 10 minutes where they lost focus, but they did. And because you were controlling the game, but you didn't do so well, you try to blame on the officials, you try to blame the referees. That is a new law that Tottenham Hotspur has gone to. And it's really, really painful to hear other people talking about how it is. I'm hearing the fans of Tottenham Hotspur complaining about how this was not supposed to be an offside. Which type of football are you now playing? And they're not even using that official that offside rule that we used in the Premier League, where we have to draw the lines. These guys are using something that will actually identify whenever the body part of a person is owner it's far away from the ball, because there is something that tracks this thing, and it's crazy that we are even talking about this at this stage of the game. So they need to accept the truth of the matter. The right decision was done. Tottenham Hotspur has to work so hard to do better. They have a last chance to play against Marseille. It's the last team in the group, for Christ's sake. They should get something either way. So not blaming anyone. If your performance is not good, that's your problem. That's your own fault. You are not doing so well. But at the end of the day, the better team won. The better team draw, and they should have won. For me, I think Sporting deserved to win because they played so well. So I'm out, people. I don't really care what Conte said. This is what we learned, that whenever things don't go so well, people try to use the VR on their side. And I myself will never accept that. If the decision is made, we need to learn to stick with it. If it's wrong, let's compare. But an offside decision is clear and obvious. We don't need to come up with so many things, and we don't need to attack referees like without they were doing. So I'm out. Click here as you hear me talking about Atletico Madrid's run in the Champions League, and click here to watch my big match preview and reviews. I'm out. Peace, be blessed.